Hi, everyone.
Hey everyone,
Hope you all had a happy Thanksgiving. This is Callista.
and this is Stephanie.
So, we're doing a live today because we thought with, you know, holiday season in full swing, we would kind of do a little bit of a kind of things that you should have in your sewing room, like finishing up all these like holiday projects, but also kind of like a holiday gift guide idea, as well as talking about one of our newest products.
Yeah, so like what Callista said, now is a really great time. It seems early, but now is a great time to actually start shopping for Christmas.
Yeah.
So, with everything that you're seeing today, it's a good time to think about whether or not you actually want to get something this weekend and either gift it to yourself or gift it to a fellow quilter friend. So, first off, what we're going to be talking about today is one of our newest thread lines, actually. It just got launched at Houston this
Yep.
year, and it is called
Polymat.
Polymat.
So this is our newest product. It is a 40 weight polyester thread, but it is completely matte finish, and it's great for kind of just any type of long arming, just kind of all over quilting, free motion quilting, for your computerized quilting as well. Like you can use this on the domestic or the long arm machine, and it's just a very reliable, good quilting thread. And I would say the other thing that's kind of different about polymat is it's 100% in the name, you would guess as well, matte finish. So it is a polyester with a matte finish.
Yeah, and it's a 40 weight as well. So to show you a side-by-side comparison, this is our beloved Fabulux thread right here, and you can just see from the lights how shiny this thread is, and that is because it is a trilobal polyester. Now when we hold Polymat up next to it, you can see how different the thread looks, and that is due to its matte finish and almost looks like cotton. So it stitches really beautifully on the long arm.
You can see it next to a cotton. It absorbs light in the same way. So it's not like really shiny in any way. It's got like a totally matte finish. And like we were saying, it's just a very easy to use thread. Like it's kind of the one you would use if you're like you don't have a particular preference on like whether the thread shows or hides or anything like that. There's always like a good time for kind of just more of like an not all purpose because it's but like a all purpose quilting thread, I would say, kind of just like one you can always like kind of fall back on if you don't have like a preference on which way you go, or if you're just someone that does a lot of long arming, or you do long arming for like customers or things like that as well. This is just like a great reliable spool to kind of try out.
Yes. And of course, because it is polyester, the price point will be a little bit less than what you would use for cotton. So, one of the great things about it is if you do a lot of quilting, if you do long arming for other people as well, or if you just yourself do a lot of quilting, you're able to get many colors of this at a more economical price point too. So, another thing about Polymat is it actually has a massive color range.
Oh,
There's
yes.
150 colors. That's the widest range of any long arming thread that we offer. Even when you compare it to some of our staples or existing thread lines like Master Quilter, or even like Confetti and Tootie, which also have Confetti, our 50 weight cotton, has about 120 colors. So this has even more. And for any of you that really love neon
Oh,
quilting
yes,
threads,
yes.
the choice available for Polymat and the neon threads is so vast. If you thought there was only one type of neon pink, you would be wrong. So, let me show you. Well, let us show you what the color book looks like.
So if you didn't know, we always have color charts on all of our thread lines. They are real thread color charts, so you can see here. This is the range. This is the range that you will be able to have for the polymatte line. So we made sure that there are a ton of great neutrals in there. You can see there's like a whole row just of like various shades of gray and beigey tan colors. So if you're a neutral lover, there's going to be lots of usable neutrals for you as well. We made sure there's just like a whole, very diverse range of colors. Like every color is pretty well represented. And like Stephanie said, we have a lot of really fun colors in there.
Look at those neon pinks that I mentioned. Neon's always a little bit hard to show on camera, but there's almost 5 or 6 pinks that would fall under that neon category right there.
And like there's like 2 neon oranges and like 2 different types of like neon yellow as well. There's kind of like 2 different types of highlighter yellow and kind of like a green one too. And they all have really fun names. Like the green one's called Glow Stick. So you can check this out. I highly recommend you guys give this a try if you are someone that loves 40 weight or likes quilting with polyester. Also, the other thing is there's no lint with this thread, which is always a bonus. And you are always down for trying another thread line. This is like a kind of like a go-to. I would say it's almost like, it's kind of like an essential that you can always have in your back pocket. Like I said, when you don't have something that you kind of like know what direction you want to like use for your quilt, and you're just like, I just want like a good quilting thread. This is like a good option.
And I would say it's also a really excellent thread too for home decor if you want something a little bit more durable than cotton thread. So if you are sewing on something like towels, if you're embellishing something like this, or if you want to use it for embroidery.
I was gonna say, we missed the fact that you can also use this for embroidery. So besides obviously this size of cone for quilting, you can definitely use it for embroidery as well, because it is a 40 weight polyester thread, which is what people pretty much use for embroidery most typically. Of course, we're always saying you can use anything from 100 weight to a 12 weight, but using like a lot of designs are designed for like a 40 weight as well. So if you want kind of like a different type of finish than the traditional trilobal polyester, which has that really shiny look to it, then you can definitely think about using the matte finish poly, and that will give you a different like finish and aesthetic than your regular trilobal polyester.
Now let's talk about
Oh, and I want to mention one more thing. Sorry. Back to the color chart. I know we're talking about physical color charts, and they're a great tool to have. But if you don't have access, or you have not like ordered one or purchased a real thread color chart before, we always have our color charts available for digital downloads on our website. So you can go to shopwonderfil.com, and on the bottom under hints and tips, I believe there's a link for color charts. And so you can access color charts for each one of our thread lines on there. And so you'll be able to print out something that looks like this. Of course, it's as close as we can get to like the exact color. We try really hard to color match, but if you're kind of just in a moment needing a color chart, this is a great tool to access. Or if you're just like a very organized person and you like to kind of keep track of all the different threads that you have in your inventory, or maybe like it's either a shopping list or it's like an inventory tracker, this is a great thing to kind of like keep a binder of as well.
Now, I'm really excited to talk about this next one. So if any of you guys are in our Block of the Month group, or if you've watched any Stitching with Stephanie videos, you'll know that I personally really love handwork thread. And so there's a few things that I want to show you guys for this gift giving season especially. And if you can pass me these two guys over here. First of all, we have these really cute Christmas packs, and there's only a limited quantity of them, and they are going for like a really great special online as well. And you get 9 balls with a mix of variegated and solid colors in there too. So you can do a lot of really fun things. It's also a great stocking stuffer if you're someone that wants to get something a little bit more substantial. You can even consider one of our full sets. So this sometimes feels like it might be a lot for your average person, but now is a great time to grab one of these. So for example, the Eleganza ball collection right here has actually 96 balls because it is 2 layers thick. So we're just going to pull it apart there so you can see. So there's 96 colors you can get right there. And this one is all the variegated colors. There's another box type that's all solid colors too. And so this is, I think, one of those things where you just want to have everything at your fingertips, and it's all packaged so nice and beautifully, especially if you are doing a lot of things like block of the months, or if you have a few projects going on, things like that too.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of other types of essentials or stocking stuffers, these cuties are kind of like perfect for a stocking stuffer because they're little sampler packs that let you try a few different thread lines out. So we kind of have them in different categories. For example, this one is called the Fine Thread Sampler. So in it, you'll get a sample of the 60 weight, the 80 weight, and the 100 weight. So it gives you like a few different threads to try out and see. And there's different types of kind of categories of them as well.
Yes, these are great little sample packs to pick up because like what Callista said, it'll say right here what threads or what types of threads are inside. And then you get these cute little spools. So you don't need to commit to like a whole entire spool if you're not sure
or you haven't tried it before.
Or yeah, if you're not quite comfortable or you just want to give it a go to see how it runs on your machine or by hand or even through your serger. So then you have an array of different 12 weights in this pack here. And then like what Callista said,
this one's a hand embroidery pack. So there's like a few different 8 weights in there and a 12 weight as well. And also we have a machine embroidery one. So like we were saying earlier, machine embroidery, you can really use a lot of different threads for your machine embroidery. So this one we have 7 different threads in that one. So it's a great way to just like try out different threads. Like I know actually people ask us a lot if we have like an assortment of threads to try because sometimes they haven't like tried all the different types of threads. And if you didn't know, we have 36 different types of threads. So it is a lot to kind of, I think 37 now with our newest polymat here. But like we're gonna have to like
make a new trifold.
Yeah, we're gonna have to make a new trifold. But yeah, this is a great way to kind of try out different types of thread and kind of like have a focus towards it as well, instead of being kind of like overwhelmed with like the whole spectrum at your fingertips, like right at once.
Yeah, I especially really like the machine embroidery pack too, because if you are someone that does machine embroidery or you like to do decorative stitching, it's nice to be able to combine textures and colors, because if you are doing those kind of like art-based quilts or art-based patterns, having those options available to you is so nice. So as you can see here, there's threads like D-twist, there's rayon threads, cotton threads, and actually there's a spool of metallic thread in here as well. So you can give it a go and see how it works on your machine. And actually these spool sizes are not available to purchase independently. So if you did want to try or sample these are a great way to give these threads a go.
Exactly. The next thing I want to chat about is this is kind of like along the same line, but it is our wool essentials kit. So this one is called Sunny Side. There's 2 different colorways to it. And you can see it's a curated color selection, which includes some of our 8 weights in there, and which is the 8 weight, number 8 Eleganza Pearl Cotton. It has the 8-weight dazzle. It also has an 8-weight razzle, which are rayon metallic and rayon threads. And then we also have 2 spools of the Alana 12-weight as well. And we also included needles as well as wonder guards to kind of keep your threads organized after you've opened them. But we also have included is a merino wool collection of fabric as well. So then you kind of have immediately at your fingertip something to try wool applique, but also all the embellishment threads as well. So if you've ever been curious about wool applique or wool work and hand embroidery, I actually really love this set because working on wool is also really different, and this is like a really fun way to kind of just like give it a go and have all the tools you need to like get started immediately.
Yeah, and I think some people may get this and not know what to do with it. I think the first place to start, especially if you are someone that's just picking it up or wanting to learn or wanting to practice, sometimes it's as much as opening that stitching book that you purchased and just trying out stitches. And you can even just draw some lines on the merino wool, follow each line with the different stitches to get some practice in, and then you can just do something as simple as pillowing it out like a little pin cushion, or you can piece the pieces together to make a little mini quilt. But this is definitely a really great starting place because you get all these pretty threads and the matching needles as well.
And talking about more actually, okay, kind of like since we're already on the topic of handwork, Stephanie is going to chat about our coffee break block of the month. So if you didn't know, we've been running a block of the month program for 3 years now. So make sure you're subscribed to our newsletter because we actually release the patterns to our newsletter subscribers once a month. There is both usually a machine version of the quilt and also a hand version of the quilt, which means that you can either make it by machine or you can make it by hand. So then it gives kind of like people the option to play with both. Right now we're going to talk about kind of like the hand version because besides the pattern, we actually created pre-cut wool kits plus matching thread and a little bit of like fun merch stuff too.
Yes. So again, if this is something that you want to dive into, if you've done block of the months before, you'll kind of have a better idea. If you've not done a block of the month before, this is a really great place to start because for one, we have every block pre-packaged in a kit like this. Everything that you see inside is all pre-cut for you. Everything is pre-cut. So there's no tracing involved, no cutting involved. All you have to do is actually just applique the shapes onto the background piece of wool, which is also included. So everything that you see here is in the kit, and it also has all the threads that you would be using for this block. And we can give that an open.
We can open this up so then we can kind of show you what's inside. And now since it's already December, if you get the whole kit, you actually get all 12 blocks at once already. So it's going to be a finished thing because like we've only been releasing them month by month. But now since it's pretty much December now, you can have
and
all of them and in one go.
The last block for this pattern coffee break is coming out on Monday.
Yeah.
And that will be the kit.
So that's why it'll ship with like all 12 now.
Yes. So if you do get the full block of the month kit, you'll get everything. You don't have to get mailed anything separately. So I'm just kind of holding it up because I don't want it to slide out. But essentially, this is what the kit would look like. These are just loose. Nothing is stitched down. You can see all the pre-cut pieces right there. I'm just going to slide those pieces off so that you can see really clear instructions about which stitches go where on this legend. And then on this side of the book, it has all the detailed instruction and every stitch is bolded so you know where each stitch goes. So in addition to the diagram, you have the written instruction right there. And that's just the beginning of what makes this kit super convenient. So when it is time to start appliquing, the kit also comes with all of these Alana wool threads. Alana is dyed to match the wool fabric 100%. So all you have to do is pick up the same color and applique the shape down, and it'll be a 100%
Perfect match.
Yeah, perfect match. And then every single block you can just use these for. And then the extra fun part is the final puzzle piece to this kit is actually these tins that you see here. So each tin contains eleganza balls and either a razzle or a dazzle. These are all the threads that you would need to complete the quilt as well. So if we give these an open, I have the solid one and Krista has the variegated one. So this has, again, all the thread that you need to do this whole quilt. So if you decide to go for the coffee break quilt, which is a very, very cute one, then you have everything at your fingertips. You don't need to go out and buy extra. The only thing you need to triple check that you have is needles and scissors, and that is about it. And right now for this weekend, we have quite a few specials that are a limited time. So now is a great time to check that out, especially. And over here, since we're on the topic of coffee break and how Klista mentioned that there is a machine version of this quilt as well, because I know not everyone does handwork.
This is kind of like an early sneak peek because like the newest block's not coming out till Monday.
Yes. No screen caps. But this is the machine quilted version, and this will also give you a good idea of what the handwork version looks like if you've not seen it before. But basically it's in the shape of a coffee, like a little
coffee corner.
Oh, it's pinned because we were hiding some bits of it. Let's just unpin it right here. All right. Okay, we'll start at the top. Here. We'll pull it taut so it's less wrinkly. That's the first shelf. Second.
So you see there's like a kettle and some spoons and a French press. And then on the bottom, we have like, let's hold it up a little higher.
Okay.
A little espresso machine, like some cream or milk, and then some cookies, because of course you need to have a little bit of sugar with your drink.
Yes, and this snack. This whole quilt is done with foundation paper piecing.
And actually, if you are not a coffee drinker, there is an alternate tea version of this quilt as well that we created. So if you are not a coffee drinker, there is also a tea version of this as well.
Yes,
so
of this quilt.
If you're looking for a fun FPP pattern, this might be your calling. And all the blocks will be finally released by Monday. So right now there's 11 of them. And then by Monday, that'll be like the last one. And is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
That is right.
And then it'll be finished.
Yes.
So if you're not part of our newsletter list already, make sure you join because we will be continuing our Block of the Month program. It's so fun. And if you are part of it or if you are not part of it, also check out our Facebook group because there's a lot of people sharing their progress along the way, and it's a great community. And it's a great place to get inspiration as well because a lot of people actually don't follow the same exact color that we use. And so it's like always fun to see different versions of like the same quilt.
Yeah, and I mean, the reason why we initially developed the Block of the Month is to hopefully help people try something new. If they've never done handwork or if they've never done foundation paper piecing before, that's why actually the pattern itself is free. We don't actually charge for the pattern. Just if you wanted the extra doodads like the threads and the wool, then you can purchase that as well. But actually the pattern itself is to encourage people to try something new, because for coffee break, and we've done one called Floral Foundations, and last year we did one called Bird Watcher as well. For foundation paper piecing, we have this little thread box here, and this is Deco Bob. So if you've never used Deco Bob before, this is our go-to recommendation for foundation paper piecing. So if that is a technique you want to try, you definitely want to use Deco Bob, because once you reduce that stitch length, it's going to make your piecing so much more crisp, much flatter, especially when it comes to FPP. You have so many corners coming together. It's really important to use a lighter weight thread like this. And then, of course,
it helps perforate the paper more with that shorter stitch length, so it's easier to tear out the paper as well. So there's no, I might be biased, but there's no better thread than Deco Bob if you're going to be doing an FPP pattern. You have to try it out because it's truly a game changer.
Exactly. And then,
speaking of Deco
Bob, another thing we wanted to bring up in the season of stocking stuffers and restocking your sewing room too is bobbins. So all our pre-wound bobbins, and then Cook, do you mind picking up the M bobbins over there?
Yes.
So all our bobbins are actually wound with Deco Bob. That's that 80 weight cottonized polyester. And again, just taking advantage of that lightweight quality of Deco Bob will make your sewing so much easier. When it comes to tensioning, when it comes to like ironing it nice and flat and matching up your corners, it'll make everything.
No lint in your bobbin cave.
No lint. It all just gets a lot more accurate and a lot sharper too. So if you are not sure, actually, I should mention this. If you're not sure what machine or what bobbin your machine takes, we do have a bobbin guide on our website too. So all you have to do is go to shopwonderfil.com. If you scroll all the way to the bottom of the page,
bobbin guide,
you'll be able to see a link that says bobbin guide. It's the same place where you'll find the link to the color cards. So there's a bobbin guide there. It'll have all the machine brands.
Yep.
And then it'll list what size bobbin your machine takes. And so L size are these pink packages right here. It will say actually size L right there. This one,
size M.
Size M.
Typically for long arm machines. Some long arms do take L size as well. Typically it's the APQS. Like we said, if you don't know, you can find out on our bobbin guide.
Yeah. So, and everything will be really clearly stated on our website too. So in addition to the 15 and the L and the M, which we've had for a very long time.
Another new product that we launched this year, this is kind of like a year-end recap, I guess, for us, is we have the B size bobbin. So this is the Bernina jumbo size bobbin. So if you are a Bernina user and you've always wished that there was a pre-wound bobbin available for your machine, it is now available. It is the WonderFil size B bobbin. And so this is actually the jumbo bobbin, and it will go inside your Bernina, and there's two different sides to it. So it's kind of like how the jumbo bobbin has like the side with like the silver, and then like there's like a right and wrong way to put it in. This bobbin is made the same way, so there'll be an obvious right and wrong side to put in your machine.
You'll be able to actually feel it because hopefully you can see right there. It's flush right here at the top. This side has a little bit of a ridge right here. So you just match it up to how your bobbin is set in your machine currently and drop it in the same way.
Exactly. So this is very exciting news. So there is now how many sizes? Four sizes of pre-wound bobbins. Just to recap, the 15, the L, the M size, and now the B. So
it's a great time to stock up.
We use pre-wound bobbins in all our samples. So if you ever like watch us talk and we show our samples on the screen and things like that, we're always using a pre-wound bobbin. Not because it's convenient, but because it actually gives you better results when you stitch, because it delivers much more even tension, and you can actually see that in both the experience of sewing, and you get less skipped stitches, and you can see that your stitches look more even as well. So it yields better results. It's not just the convenience.
Exactly. And the nice thing about it too is if you did want to play with like different weights on top, whether it's the heavyweight thread or the lightweight thread, you can just keep that Deco Bob bobbin in your machine. You don't have to change it. All you have to do is change your needle, change your stitch length, and you might have to do slight adjustments to your top tension if you are switching from, like, let's say a heavy straight into a light. But in my personal experience, when I used the pre-wands on my Janome, I actually didn't have to touch the tension at all, which was wonderful, because I know that's not every sewer's favorite thing to do. So yes.
The next thing we want to talk about is kind of like another fun little tool that will be great for, we've talked about it already, but I just love this product so much that I wanted to talk about it again, which is our Instant Applique. This is also about a year old now because we launched it last Houston. It is part of our Creative Mediums lineup that you see behind us. That includes a lot of different types of kind of like stabilizer type products that help you stitch in different ways. But the one that we are obsessed with, or I'm personally obsessed with, is the Instant Applique. The best way to explain this product is kind of like a double-sided tape for applique. But the great thing is it's iron free, so you don't have to iron the product.
Yeah.
You just peel both sides of it and it sticks instantly, and the product does not live in your project for forever. So that means when you go to wash it the first time, that layer of the sticky stuff is going to dissolve completely. And so then your project's going to be a lot softer as well, because sometimes, you know, like fusible products get kind of like stiff in your projects quite a bit. I would say this already feels a lot softer and it's not super sticky, so it doesn't gum up your needle too much, and it washes out as well, which is a huge bonus. So we call it Instant Applique because obviously it's great for all types of different applique type applications. And so if you're doing raw edge applique, if you're doing needle turn applique, if you're doing kind of like embroidery type applique, it's great for all of them. Because if you do raw edge applique, you can just stick the Instant Applique onto your fabric on the back side of on the wrong side of your fabric, and once you cut out your shape and peel off that back side, then you can just stick it directly on to whatever you need or whatever your background is, and it's so easy to instantly stitch out. And then if you're doing a needle turn applique, you just leave a little bit of an edge, like a 1/4 inch, around the piece. And when you actually go to turn the edges, it can actually stick onto the back of your of the applique. And then the middle part is still sticky, and then you can stick that onto your background fabric. So it's like such a game changer. I'm like very obsessed with it. And so then I have a sample here of also like the embroidery applique type of application. So if you have your embroidered design, you can actually just stitch out your guide. No, it's oh my gosh, my mind is blanking. You can print out the die lines. That's what I want to say. You can print out the die lines of the applique pieces and transfer that onto the Instant Applique and then onto your fabric. So you can cut out the pieces exactly to the shape they're supposed to be ahead of time. And then when you go to stitch it out, when it first puts that first line down, you don't put your fabric on there. You just like stitch it out blank, and that kind of becomes the line where you know where to place your pieces, because now you don't have to trim at all. You just let it stitch out the lines, and now that you have all your pieces pre-cut with the Instant Applique on the back, all you have to do is peel off that back side of the fabric and stick it down exactly where it's supposed to go. So it looks something like this. This is kind of like what I've done already. You see it's stitched out exactly where the lines are supposed to be. Then I go in and stick exactly where the pieces are supposed to go. Now I don't have to trim anything, and then the machine does all the stitching on top, and it's so much cleaner, and it's it's nice because like I personally do not like the step where I have to kind of trim the fabric around, especially when you have like difficult design features like this with like that scalloped edge. It's hard to get like a really in there and get like all the fabric out, and so this produces a much cleaner
and saves you a step.
And it is, yeah, I love it for this as well.
So, and this would follow actually a similar concept to the raw edge applique that was Calista was talking about. So if you have the shape, so you can vaguely see the printer line up at the top and around there. So you can actually trace or print onto, we have something called the applique transfer sheet. You put that design on the back side or on the sticky side of the roll. So now you have outlines on one side. The other side of the instant applique is like the sticker side. So it's unpeeled. So now neither side is sticky.
Yeah.
It's covered, but now you have an outline to trace and cut out. So you cut that shape out. Let's say you cut this shape out, right? If you wanted to do the turned, this isn't a great shape for the example I'm about to make, but if you wanted to do the turned applique after, you just peel off one side, stick it to your fabric, then you can peel off the other side and then fold the edge over to do the turn. If you wanted to do the raw edge applique,
you just cut it exactly.
Yeah, so instead of cutting like initially when you're tracing out this, don't cut it out exactly. Just loosely cut it out like this, peel off the whole back, stick it to your fabric, and then trace the line and cut it out. So then you get this precise shape.
And then you just peel and stick it to whatever you want to.
Yeah, and then you just peel and stick.
So I know that was just kind of like a lot of verbal explaining, but we have really fantastic YouTube videos on all of these different types of applications that we just kind of touched on in a lot further detail, plus in a better kind of like demo situation. So I do suggest that you kind of go back and find those videos because they are super, super informative on how you can like use this product and how it's going to be a game changer, especially if you're someone that likes to do applique, does a lot of applique, or even if you hate applique, this will make applique a whole lot easier for you, because I am definitely not an applique expert, but it makes like even someone that's like a novice like me, like it makes it so much easier to do like a turned applique.
Yes, and then if you didn't know already, Calista and I have done many thread talks in the past, including ones based on just like notions or just based on lightweight threads or heavyweight threads. We have almost like a 2-hour long talk just on how to use metallic threads. So also check out our YouTube channel because there's so much content there. If you never know what to watch while you're in your sewing room, it's a great thing to just throw on the TV in the back and just like listen and see if there's anything new that you want to learn or try out. But Instant Applique is one of those products that I think, even though it says applique, you can use it for so many things because like Chris just said, it is almost like double-sided tape. So you can even use it for binding, right? And stick everything down. Zippers. Once it's all attached with thread, once you've like permanently attached it down, it'll just wash out. So it's not going to live in your projects. And actually all these creative mediums in the back, they all have a really great purpose and not just one individual use to. So if that is something that you guys want to learn more about, or if you have any ideas about what you'd like us to talk about, or even just an open Q&A style, like we hop on and have like a chit chat, just let us know what you want. And we're more than happy to log in and chat with you guys.
Yeah, I think if you would like a refresher on metallic thread as well, we can definitely go over that, because especially now that it's like holiday season is like in full swing, I'm sure a lot of you guys are thinking about using metallics or currently using metallics and either having a great time or maybe not. And if you would you want to have like kind of like a more live session where you can like ask those questions while we talk about metallics, then we'd be happy to like do something like that as well.
Yeah, because there's so many really fun ones that we have right now, especially for the holiday season. This one is like a heavyweight metallic. Then we have the 40 weight metallics. So to be able to just use these in some of your projects it adds so much glitz and sparkle. So yeah, we're more than happy to touch on this once again.
Yeah, maybe we can do a live tomorrow and just kind of like talk about holiday projects in metallic.
Yeah, or even just like a open Q&A.
Yeah.
So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them all in the comment section today. And Callista and I will gather all these frequently asked questions, including one specifically on metallics.
Yes.
And we can have a chat about this tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, we can.
All right.
Maybe like around 2:00 again?
Yeah, let's do that. Same time tomorrow.
Okay. Sounds good. So we'll hop off for now, but if you found this helpful or if you have suggestions for other topics that you want us to cover, let us know, and we'll be back tomorrow to kind of focus more on metallic threads and Christmas project inspiration. Yeah, we'll show you guys like some different samples that we've created at the office using different types of techniques and different types of threads and
easy
like
projects to do with friends.
Yep. And like things that you can definitely get done before Christmas. All right. So we hope you had a great Thanksgiving yesterday and you are still full from all the delicious food. And we will see you guys back here tomorrow at 2:00.
2 p.m. Mountain Time.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye.